Hello and welcome to the newest installment in the Paris Squared series. Glozel is real, part 2. You visited Nicolette or Nicole Junot, niece of François Junot, a self-taught archaeologist who died in 1929 when he fell in front of a train at the Gare de l'Est for whatever reason, nobody really knows. And he had been excavating at Glozel, a place which you have found out about from the first Count du Lac / Count d'Artois. Because he said when you met him that there was or is or maybe should be or shouldn't be a portal. And he was trying to close it, but you couldn't get away because he was stuck in that library. So he basically dumped a lot of papers on you and was very surprised that nobody actually from his own family tried to do anything about it, because the issue was that he had left papers in the library of his house, and nobody seems to have read them. You haven't certainly heard of them. The Count du Lac, the present Count du Lac that you spoke to, didn't mention anything, but then again, you didn't ask him about it specifically because you didn't know. And so there are a couple of things that you would like to investigate. Number one, Glozel. You found Nicole Junot and you read her uncle's diary. And he says that he has been able to translate the Glozel tablets, and he knows exactly what it says in them, and he was going to tell the world. There was only just one thing that he still wanted to check out, then he was going to return to Paris, and then he was going to tell the world. Nicole told you that just after he died, basically on the day, he was going to meet someone in Paris. She knew that, but she didn't know whom he was going to meet. And your reading of the diary definitely didn't spell suicidal tendencies. He was very upbeat. He was very happy about his finding. And he was also very confident that he had actually lifted the veil that enclosed the Glozel tablets. And he was very upbeat about it all. So you wouldn't think that this is a person or writing like this who would then kill himself literally a day later. And you also thought that it might make sense to go back to the Count du Lac's residence to see, can you find the Count du Lac number ones or Count d'Artois number ones or last or whatever Count d'Artois count that is writings, if his notes were somewhere. Because you would have somebody who would be able to read them, namely Micheline can read Middle French. She's done this for you, so she would be able to read it for you. So this is where we're at. You have two ways forward that you have been contemplating. Number one, contact the Count du Lac again and ask him and take him up on the invitation, because he said you could come to his place for 2 days or so, spend the night to just basically look at the library.
Yep.
And or go to Glozel first. I leave it up to you.
Well, we can't go to Glozel. I have university.
That's true. Yeah. Oh, yes, you were going to. Yeah.
So we need to do anything in between until basically I have a vacation holiday time with uni. And because Glozel would not be like a weekend trip, I'm quite sure we would be there longer, I suppose, at least. So.
Sorry, can you say that again? I completely blanked. What did you just say?
Glozel is not only a weekend trip. We will be stuck there for longer. At least Claire assumes that it will not be like, hey, we will go there on Friday and we'll be back on Sunday.
Your name is actually Amélie.
Oh, see, that's why I'm looking at my name, and thank you. So yeah, so definitely Glozel will be pushed back until Amélie can travel. Also, this will give maybe Celeste a chance to hand in vacation time for work as well. And so visiting. I think visiting the Count and snooping around. Maybe we find the diaries that should be there somewhere. Or some more books, since he said there should be more. Maybe we'll find something. Maybe Celeste finds something magical there. She still thinks it was haunted was her idea, right? She wanted to bring her ghost stuff with her.
Ghost hunting stuff, yes, indeed.
So I think that's a thing. The other thing Amelie has as a to-do on her list is like request a new library card. So I can at least get access to the library. Also noting down, I don't need vault access, so please don't save my fingerprints, iris, or whatever. Name and address is fine.
And you left your pin in there. The little teeny tiny pin is on its own in this vast vault of yours.
Yes.
Have you no heart?
No.
It's just that tiny pin.
Well, if I lose the vault, I suppose they will clean out the vault.
Are you sure?
And the pin will be plonked back in a big box with other pins.
Where he lived happily ever after.
Yes.
One might hope so. I hold
The
out
other
no
thing
hope.
we still need to do before we go to Glozel is having another dinner at my house and having Celeste with a special guest visiting.
Special appearance by. Okay. So you go back to the library the next day. La Bibliothèque Nationale.
Yes.
And you go in.
I go to the information.
Bonjour, mademoiselle.
Bonjour. I would like to apply for a library card. Only a library card, nothing else.
The person. Oh, maybe I need dice. Just maybe.
No, you don't have to. Oh, well, maybe Celeste wants to roll something. That would be good.
Oh, is Celeste with you?
At the moment, I don't. I think for getting the card, Celeste would know I will apply for a new card, but I don't think I would say I need her there.
So you go to the information desk.
But wait, we wanted to meet at the library because we wanted to have a look at the painting, which we didn't do yet.
No, that's true. Yeah.
So it would be
And
the day where we wanted to meet, so I would be there like a few minutes earlier to apply for the card.
So you go to the information desk. I just rolled on a 13. The lady does recognize you. Whatever happened to your library card? You should have one already.
No, it got cancelled.
She looks at you. What was it? Late returns? Damaged
Data
books? Or
security
speaking?
breach. Data security breach on your side.
She does not take kindly to this. ID.
I will push over the ID. Could you make sure it's really just for the library card, yes? Not that they're saving my fingerprints again and things like that, which they
Type.
didn't do without my approval.
Type. Print. The library card will be sent to you by post.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And no offense against you. You did a marvelous job here. And I did never return a book late. You can't see it in my file. It's not there anymore. But thank you very much. Is there a way I can enter the building as a guest today?
You're welcome to stay in the lobby.
If I have someone who takes me with them?
You can go to the reading room.
Amelie will pull out the phone and will ring Eric. Oder Erik?
Eric answers the phone.
Amelie here, hi.
Amelie,
Is
Bonjour.
there a way I can get a guest access card for today? Celeste
Did you
and
lose your
I-
access card?
Well, I got it erased and just applied for a new one, a kind of reduced one. Without all the fingerprint stuff and so on. And now the lady doesn't want to let me in the building, but Celeste and I want to come up in a little bit to look at the painting.
That is highly unusual, and usually we do not allow this. Why did you have your card cancelled? Did you return books late?
No, you saved data that I did not approve. I never was asked that you can save all my private data, including my fingerprints and iris scan, whatever else you thought. That's highly intrusive not to align with the one. So I got everything cancelled. I was a little bit harsh. So everything got cancelled. I actually only wanted to have the fingerprint thingy cancelled, but everything got cancelled. Okay, but if I can't enter, then I will tell Celeste that we will have to wait. That's not a problem. Thank you for taking the time. Click.
Yeah.
Amelie will hang up.
A
And
short
she will
while.
call Celeste
Hello?
while she leaves the
Amelie?
building. We need to cancel our meeting. I can't go into the library for the next days.
But you have to take a look at the picture.
Well, I can't. I don't have a card.
Says
and without
who?
a card... You were with me. I don't have a card anymore. I just applied for a new one. It will take a few days until it's there. And Eric says without card, no accesso.
Are you at the library?
Not for long anymore. I'm just
Can you just wait for me, please?
mid-walking. Amelie just freezes. Are you already here? Or almost?
I'm almost here. I mean, we're meeting in about 10 minutes. So, of course, I'm on my way. Please hold on until I'm there.
Okay.
Try
I will
not to
just
aggravate
wait.
the situation any longer.
Well, I left the building. I can't aggravate any. I did not. I was very nice today.
Wait on the stairs for me.
Okay.
And
Click.
can you check your internet because you're freezing? Your picture's freezing.
Why am I freezing? My internet is... I don't get any signs about unstable stuff.
Okay, is it
Let me have a look. Because my cable is in. I'm not in Wi-Fi.
okay.
Let's have a peek.
Then it may be your camera.
No, I have full line.
Okay. Maybe it's me. Let me just check.
You're not freezing for me.
But maybe I'm losing packages from you.
That might be.
Looks okay. Okay.
Is the sound at least okay? Is it
Yeah,
just
the sound is
picture?
perfect. It's
Okay,
just basically
that's
yeah.
most important.
Yeah.
That you're not losing my words.
Just so that you know that there may be an issue.
Yeah, I will have a peek.
Okay, so essentially, you wait. You see a very harried, fast-walking Celeste approach you. What happened?
I went to the information. I requested that I want a new card. She asked me why, because she already knew me. I told her that I had to decline the last one because of data security problems on their side. And then she put me in for a new library card. Only access library, no fingerprint vault thingy. And she said it will be sent to my place. And it will take a few days. And then I called Eric and asked if there's a way, at least for today, I can have like a visitor pass or so. And he said no.
She holds up her finger. Takes out her phone. dials a number. Oh. Yeah. Eric, this is Celeste. We have a situation here. Well, we're supposed to do an assessment on that painting. This isn't finished yet, and you're taking away the one resource who can actually do this? I mean, what do you want me to do? Just sit there and go, I like the reds, and the blues are kind of washed out. What do you expect me to do? I don't know the first thing about... No, this is why we brought her in, amongst other things, to look at those paintings. It's not a pyramid. It doesn't tell me anything. I don't care. Eric, you let us in. You open that door. Am I making myself clear? Follow me, she hangs up.
Amelie is impressed. Very impressed. She just follows without saying a single word.
This is how I deal with unruly customers.
I can see that I rarely have unruly customers in our shop. Basically never. But thank you. That
Maybe
was
your
impressive.
customers aren't exactly between 10 and 18. That's a difficult age.
Yeah, no. I would not even let someone in that age in the store. No. But it was impressive.
She looks at you and you can tell that it took a lot.
Thank you.
But, well, you said we were friends.
Yes. But I know that's not your comfort zone to behave like that.
They were telling my friend she couldn't come.
Well, they said I had to wait a few days. It was not I could never come again.
That hurt me.
It
So
might have
I had
been
to...
A little bit of my fault.
She takes you by the hand. She says, but we're not telling them that. Then she approaches the kind of like this.
Mm-hmm.
She holds up her card. The doors open, and then she places herself in front of one of those door blades, as it were, and she says, "You go first."
Okay.
And the door starts to close, but it doesn't really. It can't. I mean, it
I
will not.
will quickly try to basically slip through and wave at whoever is at the security.
I mean, it's like one of those, you know, those gates that they have where the agents who take your luggage at the airport.
Yeah.
It's one of those very half doors. So basically, and it's also not strong enough to actually hinder you from doing anything. As soon as it touches her, it actually stops moving.
Yeah, for security reason, you can't squeeze someone in by accident.
Yeah, because that would be a safety risk.
Yeah.
But of course, a little light goes on. It's a red light. She says, damn it. And she just basically waits for you to go through. Then she goes through, the doors slip closed. And then she says, and how long is it going to take for you to get that card?
They said a few days. Probably by next week everything should be sorted.
Okay. So you go to the lift. You go down to the basement. And you arrive in the room where the paintings still are. So you wanted to look at the painting to find out what exactly?
To see if anything changed.
Okay. Then...
So if dates changed, because we know where we have to look for the dates, so we want to see if they changed or if anything was added. Or if anything else changed is basically the question.
Okay. You take a look. You don't have to roll.
Okay.
The painting has changed. You know how it was a man sitting in a library? Now there's the man and there's a woman next to him. She's holding a candle. She's got very long curly hair and she's wearing kind of like a very unelegant frock, but you can tell that it's made of very heavy fabric, probably damask or brocade. And she's put a hand on his shoulder. And they're both now looking at the person who's, what do you call the person who looks at a painting? Spectator?
Yeah.
Viewer?
Viewer, something like
Yeah,
that.
so basically at the audience of whoever is looking at the painting, they are looking straight into their eyes.
Is the lady, does it look like death?
Yeah.
Okay.
And also the man used to have a neutral expression, so he was basically just, but they're both smiling.
Are the dates still there?
Yeah, you can still see them, but none have been added. You give it a really good look. Let's just do a perception check, and Celeste will help you because she is seeing +2. So, okay, so here we are. So she has 10, 14, +6 on a stunt die. What did you roll?
I rolled 10, 12 plus 3. And I have a 5 on the stunt die.
So you have 15. You get her 6 from her
15,
stunt die is 21.
And 5 stunt die from myself as well.
Yeah. So you give it a really thorough look. You take the magnifying glass that you have. It's one of the ones that actually comes on a stand. So it's one of those big ones
That you can
you can move, and it's got a light.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got a light. So it's the one that you would also be using for restoring paintings, that you can see everything.
Yeah.
And nothing has been added. All of the dates are still where they used to be. But nothing has been added. Nothing else that you can see has been taken away. But you've got this really big, very obvious change to the painting.
So, after finding nothing else than the very obvious change, how do we explain that to the Count, that the painting is different now? We discovered it under a coat of paint.
You discovered this while you were restoring it. You noticed that somebody had painted over it, and as you were restoring it, this came to light. The question is, do you think you could restore it to the way it looked before?
So just him alone in the painting.
Yeah, because what you could do is you could take a picture now and send him the photograph saying this is what you've uncovered as you were restoring the painting. Would he like you to keep it the way it was supposed to be, namely like this? Or would he like you to restore it to the way it was when he gave it to the museum, to the auction house?
I think Amelie, we took pictures from the
yes.
the original painting, quite a few. So yes, Amelie could restore it. I'm quite sure. So yeah, that might be a good idea. And based on that conversation, we can then also ask if we could take his offer to visit, at least for one night over, to have a look at the library.
Because if anything, this painting has improved.
I think now it's much nicer than before. We just shouldn't tell him who that is.
No,
Pointing at the woman.
We will just say that, for all you know, it's maybe his wife.
Well, we know it's not.
I know, but I mean, for all you know, if he asks you, you can say, well, you didn't find any writing, there wasn't any kind of like hidden, sometimes paintings have titles, don't they? Even that the painter decides this is what I want to call it. Yeah. And, you didn't discover anything like this, but, maybe just do this and then he can decide. And maybe, looking like this, he may want it back. You don't know. Maybe he will stop the sale and say, all of the other ones can go, but I'll keep this one.
We only have a landline number from him, though, do we?
Yeah, you called his residence.
Okay, then Amelie would call the residence, because it's not middle of the night. I'm quite sure it's still at least at a decent time that we can give a call.
You walked in while you were trying to get a library card, so it's during the day.
So it's, and even looking at the painting wouldn't be hours over hours or hours. So then Amelie would call, but she would put her phone on loudspeaker that Celeste can listen as well.
Hello?
Dubois here. Is Mr. Dulac available?
The Count is available. Who shall I say is calling? Mademoiselle Dubois?
Exactly.
One moment, please.
Thank you.
And it's again you can tell it's Jenkins by the voice.
Jenkins, I didn't have the name on.
Yeah, so Jenkins and Mrs. Jenkins run the household.
Then Amelie would like squeeze in a thank you, Mr. Jenkins.
And you hear how he puts down the receiver. Before he does that, he says, "Very well, madam, mademoiselle." Obviously, he speaks French. And then you hear his steps recede, and then a couple of minutes later, because it is a vast premise, God knows where the Count is at the moment. So you have to wait a little bit. But then, about 5 minutes later, you hear his steps, and then he picks up the receiver and says, "Mademoiselle Dubois."
Mr. Dulac, or Monsieur Dulac. Or Count? No, I think you would still say Monsieur Dulac, I suppose.
Yeah, because they have no aristocracy anymore. Yeah.
Well, during the last bit of the restoration of the painting, we found that it was painted over.
It was painted over?
We have the original, basically, now. Do you have, like, an email address or mobile phone that I could send you the current version too, because I would need a decision from you if we should restore to the version you know so far, if we should leave basically the original.
Oh, that is very thoughtful of you. Well, you can send it to f.r.dulac @gmail.com.
Okay, just a second. I will just type. I send it over, so take your time, but please let us know, or let me know, as I said, if we should restore it, or if we can keep it like this. I honestly have to say, it's much prettier now. I have no idea why someone wanted to paint it over.
You hear a faint cling noise, as he's obviously receiving an email on his mobile device, and he says, "Hold on, here it is." Oh, it looks very different. I mean, there's now 2 people where there was only 1. And
he looks much happier now.
He does, doesn't he? Well, I mean, if this is the intention, the original intention, it would be interesting to hear from you, your own expertise in art history, why such things actually come about, that people paint over existing paintings instead of just destroying them. They just paint over. But, well, I mean, if this is the original intention of the painting, I don't see why we should not honor it.
We also have a lot of proper pictures, although from the auction house you should have as well from the version before. So if you want to, I don't know, make a print or have it painted that you have both versions or so, that would be possible as well.
Well, I'll tell you what. Leave it like it is now. Just finish it so that whatever you have to do to basically, I don't know, finalize the paint or whatever it is, galvanize it.
We will seal it properly and then...
And then I would say, to me this looks good. But now I'm wondering, do I want to actually sell it? Because now it's a very different painting. Now it's not angry at the room anymore.
It's still a wild way of painting, I have to admit. It's very unusual.
But you saw the place where it was. And
yeah,
let's
but
face
the
it.
perspective in this painting is still way off. That hasn't changed.
But I mean, let's face it. I'm not even sure if anybody would have bid on it. I'm pretty sure the other 4, and as you remember, there's a real, a genuine Cézanne amongst them, is going to fetch much more. How about considering that, you know, it's been in the family for so long and we've been unable to shed it? I'll just keep it back. And we
can
sell the
it
other
at
4.
another time if you want. That you are definitely right. The others will for sure make more money because at least the artist is well known. If it's not too intrusive, could you maybe would you have in the next time that we can just come over, bring you the painting, and maybe use your offer you took to stay there at least for a night to have a read through the library? My colleague and I, we are both still talking about the library and all the wonderful books that we would have loved to have a look at.
Well, of course. When would suit you?
Just a second. Amelie would just cover basically like the microphone part. Celeste, how does next weekend look for you?
She basically looks at her phone. I'm not working that Saturday and Sunday.
And would next weekend work for you?
Well, actually, I will be away, but do you need me there, or is it enough that you can just have access to the house?
If it's not weird for you, does you have guests there while you are not?
Well, something tells me you will not rob me blind.
No, I can promise you that.
Then how about you bring the painting with you, if you can fit it into your car?
We can take a different car where it fits better. I know last time the car would not have transported that painting well.
If you come by on the Friday afternoon, we could have dinner together. And then, because I'm leaving on Saturday, coming back on Sunday evening. So we could spend the evening together. Maybe, I could answer questions about the house that you may have. And I could give you the tour. Having said this, you can access all areas of the house. But I have to tell you that the West Wing has not been lived in. So we do everything we can to keep it dry. So you will find that, the heating is on. And we have those dehumidifiers in there. So it can get quite loud during the day if you are in there. Feel free to walk around, but I would suggest you don't go to sleep there because it is not very comfortable.
That wouldn't be a problem, but then yes, we would like to come over on Friday.
Perfect. I will let Mrs. Jenkins know that there will be guests for dinner. She will be so delighted.
Well, thank you. Her food was delicious.
And you have only tasted her sandwiches. You haven't even tasted a 5-course meal. She will be so... Oh, is there anything that we have to bear in mind? Any food intolerances or things you simply don't like to eat?
No, nothing.
For example, I don't like escargot. So if there's anything, just let me know.
I'm looking over to Celeste, just like...
Celeste eats everything.
Yeah, I think Amelie is as well quite fine with everything. No, I think everything is... Honestly, I think everything that Miss Jenkins will cook will be really delightful.
Celeste cannot hold herself together. She says she knows that he can hear her. Mademoiselle Dubois doesn't really like pizza Hawaii. So maybe no pizza with pineapples. And you hear him...
I don't think Miss Jenkins would do that.
He chuckles and he says, I understand...
Pineapples in general are fine in other foods.
I understand, Mademoiselle Dubois. I understand that this is a rarefied taste that they have in the United States of America. But I can promise you this already. It is not going to be pizza. I believe it's going to be... probably... either fish or
Coq au vin might be a nice thing to do because it's also a big thing.
Mm-hmm. I am losing my ability to speak English because was heißt wild? Venison. Venison. Or maybe venison. We have a hunt. Well, I don't hunt personally, but we have forests and we do have to hunt every so often, simply because So it could be that there will be venison.
We would be looking forward to that.
Then, may I call this a date? Will I put you
Yes.
down into my diary? Very
Yes,
well.
please. Thank you. Then have a lovely rest of the day, and then we will see you next weekend.
I'm so looking forward to it. I'm really delighted.
A bientôt.
A bientôt.
And Amelie will hang up and be like, "Okay, I will need to talk to Sophie. I need to change my working schedule, but that should be fine. Nicola has to jump in."
Do you mean Isabel?
Isabel. What did I say?
Sophie.
Nee. We don't have a Sophie. Isabel.
No, we don't have a Sophie yet. Not even one of their cats is called Sophie.
No.
Okay, so do you want to ring her straight away, or do you go home and
No,
tell
no.
her?
When I'm home, I will just clarify that. It will be figured out. That's not a problem.
All right. So
And thank you for getting me in here. And she would just like box very, very lightly, Celeste. Basic, no, not like that. In the arm. You
In the
know,
arm.
Like, thank you.
Celeste gives you this weird, genuine smile, and she blushes completely. And then she says, "Well, I want us to do this together, because this is the first time I have somebody that I can share this with."
Honestly, I'm quite glad I have you by my side, because I'm not sure I would survive this without someone.
Oh, you're doing fine.
Well, she's leaning over. He, pointing over to Eric, would say differently.
Well, maybe this whole security thing was a little bit over the top.
Well, they stored the most personal data. With that, you can do anything you want without asking me. That's a breach of privacy.
I've written them a stern letter.
I went a bit overboard in cancelling the whole thing. But, yeah. Do you think they will take care of the pin that is still in the vault? Maybe put it in your vault.
We could also go and just get it.
I
Once you
don't
have
need
your
the
card. It's your pin. It says Bibliothèque Nationale. I think you should have it. I've got one too.
Oh, I could put it at home on my pegboard.
You're part of something.
I'm just a guest here.
No, you're much more than a guest.
To this place. I don't think I belong here.
It sounds like you don't want to.
No, I just don't feel like I belong here.
What would make you feel like you belong here?
I don't know. Maybe it comes with time. You know, a museum with art pieces in there feels much more like home than this. There are a lot of books here.
But you like books, I thought.
Yes. But I never really sit long in a library. It's
Okay.
quiet and spooky. And you can't listen to music.
No. You should be very quiet.
I sat in a library and I was yelled at that my scribbling is too loud.
Oh. I
That
see.
was my first week in uni.
But I mean, how do you then cope when you do restoration? Do you actually listen to music?
Yes,
Can you concentrate?
sure.
I find that impressive. When I concentrate, everything has to be really quiet.
No, we listen to rock music and sing along.
Oh. Maybe that's why I prefer the library, because everyone's so quiet.
Maybe in between a little dance and then back to... Because you need to shake out the arms and hands in between. If not, you clench.
That makes sense. See, I don't know the first thing about painting. Actually, I've got two left hands.
Everyone can learn to paint.
No.
You will see. She will clap her on the shoulder, like pat her on the shoulder, not pat her on the shoulder. But that means we are done here. The only thing, maybe you want to ask him, we would need a car for next weekend, a bigger one, where we can transport the painting. If we can take it. But he said we could bring it back.
She takes out her phone. She rings Eric. Eric? Yes, we need a car. Friday to Monday. Yeah? No, I'm gonna pick it up at Friday afternoon. Let's say 2 o'clock. Needs a little bit bigger. Renault Megane. That's fine. Yes, we're going to take one of the paintings back to the Duc du Lac. Yes. How long is it going to take for you to create that card? Are you going to mint it in gold? Oh, it's a special card. I see. I hope that you're not storing any data beyond her date of birth and her address, because if you do, she's gonna know, and then there's gonna be hell to pay.
The picture is also fine.
Eric, you have a choice. You either do what we're asking you, or I'm leaving. No, I don't care. I can go back to my otaku shop and, just do what I've been doing all these years. Nobody cares. She smiles and hangs up. Thank you, and hangs up. I hope that this comes to an end at some point, because this whole being aggravated is really getting to me. I'm hungry.
Should we grab something to eat?
Yes.
Then I will
Let's go.
hand her my arm and we will go out for lunch, dinner, afternoon snack. I think rather afternoon snack, I suppose. Yeah.
So you have something to eat, and then basically she says that she actually has the evening shift. So today is tournament day. So magic for the little ones. So they basically want a couple of females there as well. So she and another girl who works there are going to be there to chaperone the little ones. And so she says goodbye.
Wish her much fun and success, and I will tell her that I will give her a few dates where we could have dinner at our house, so she can align with her living companion if it fits her schedule as well.
Okay, is that going to be before you go to the
No,
Duke
after.
or after? Okay.
After.
Oh, yes.
Before we go to Glozel, I'm quite sure,
okay.
but definitely after.
So you basically part ways. You go home. Isabelle is there. She's preparing dinner. Nicola is helping.
I will just sneak in next to Nicola and be like, Nico,
Yes.
next weekend during daytime,
Yeah.
could you jump in for me? Working? Please? I have a surprise for you afterwards. A very nice one.
You do?
Did I ever give him the CDs with the... Well, I would have something for you now.
Like what?
Wait. She will give a squeak, jump, and I jumped literally, and the whole desk is wiggling.
Moving, yeah.
And she's running upstairs and running downstairs again, and be like, close your eyes, hold out your hands, close your eyes.
At this moment, Toulouse decides it's a good idea to try and get your attention. So he walks right in front of your legs and positions him there and goes, meow.
You have to wait, darling. Sorry.
Nicolas closes his eyes. Toulouse looks at you very sternly. He doesn't like being told to wait.
I'm ignoring him. I'm carefully placing the CDs in his hand.
he can feel what it is.
Open your eyes.
He opens his eyes. He sees the two
Don't
CDs.
drop them.
He opens the first one, and the sleeve inside is signed Pour Nicolas, and then Ash, and she also Celeste told you that Ash had put in a little note. Now he does drop the CDs, almost, because the paper falls out. He didn't expect this, and it flutters slowly to the ground. And he's like,
should I hold the CDs? You read the paper. Come on.
He's like,
I will carefully take the CDs from him and put them on the table. Maybe
So
you
he-
sit down. Sit down. Do you need a drink?
He is flustered. He is breathing very quickly. He bends down. He takes the paper, which
I will
Toulouse
try
is
to maneuver him to a chair or then just plonk him there. Like, please don't faint.
because Toulouse thought that this may be a treat, so he was sniffing it.
It's not for you, darling. I will now pick Toulouse up, like giving him at least some scratches.
Nicolas sits down. Isabelle, who is standing at the
Kitchen counter?
yes, I meant herd. Cooker,
Stove.
stove. Shoot me now.
It's late.
Um,
I called myself not Amelie but Claire.
that is true. She is watching this. Do you think she's amused?
Yes.
Okay, so she gives him a really big smile, and she looks at you and kind of like raises an eyebrow, shrugging, and he sits there. It's an A4 that has been folded a couple of times so that it fits into a CD sleeve. He opens it, and you can see that somebody's written on it. And he reads it, and he blushes, and he gets redder and redder, and then he holds it against his chest, and he says, "She wrote me a letter."
I know.
You know.
Well, I told her that you're a big, big fan.
She told me that she really hopes that I enjoy the CDs, and that you actually have the 2 black versions, and that I should ask you if I can borrow them so that I can listen to the special tracks.
You can keep them. Both of them. If I want to
And-
listen to them, I will ask you.
And she also says that she knows that I went to one of the concerts, and that it is really great to meet fans, and the next time I should make myself known, and she will take me backstage.
She's awesome.
He looks at this and he says, I need to have this framed.
Maybe we still have a frame in the store we can use?
He looks at it and he is and Isabel says, well, it's time for dinner now. Can we do this framing later? No. Just in case, we need to frame this now. And he holds it up so that nobody can touch it. Especially you with your dirty hands, grandmother. You have just been cooking. Auntie. You've just now I'm making the same mistake. You've just been cooking. Don't come near it. And he walks out.
Okay, I will set up the table. I'll put the CDs at a safe place. Or a safe place from the cats. You don't have a safe place from a cat. Except a locked door.
Yeah.
But I'll put it up, and I will help to set up the table. And while he's gone, I will be like, I have another thing. So I think Celeste was a quite nice visitor, wasn't she?
Yes.
What do you think about maybe not next weekend, because I I'm basically out with Celeste. That's why I need him to jump in. I know I'm missing shifts at the moment. I will be better again, but maybe another day or evening that Celeste comes over with a special guest for dinner. Not sure what will happen with him though. He might faint and fall.
Is it the musical goddess?
Yes, she's really nice.
Of course. I'm actually glad that you're inviting people. It's good to see that you're making friends, real friends.
Well, I'm inviting Ash for Nico.
Yeah, but you could also, arrange something different, but you're bringing Celeste.
Oh, she's a friend. And I don't think she has really something like we have with basically like family dinners and someone cooking for her. Well, Ash is kind of her family.
Yeah, of course. Then, just try and find out if there's anything that Ash doesn't like to eat. Because I get the feeling that Celeste will eat anything you put in front of her as long as it's a lot.
And good. She will not eat anything. It needs to be tasty. But
Okay.
I will ask and not tell Nico.
My lips are sealed. That
Because
nephew of
he
mine.
will not show up to a dinner like that if he knew who would come.
Oh.
I will tell him Celeste will be there. I think that's fine for him.
Maybe we should have some pastis at the ready just in case, before he faints.
That might be good. We will give him a few days to calm down out of this. And by that, probably the door goes open and he's back with a ta-da! It's framed.
Yes, it is framed. And behind glass. And he says, I'm going to put this in my room before I can sit down and eat. Where can I put it so that the cats don't knock it over? Okay, tomorrow I'm going to get brackets so that I can bracket it from the top and the bottom and then the sides and just nail it against the wall. That should be safe.
You can
Isabella's
just hang it like a normal frame. The cats will not get you that. We don't have
I'm
earthquakes.
not taking any risks with that lot. And he looks at the cats, and you can see that in his mind, Toulouse is considering ways of tearing it off the wall.
Destroying.
Yeah, so
Don't look at him like that. He would never destroy and throw down a frame.
he purrs loudly, nuzzles you, and you know totally that he's already plotting with his friends, his 6 cat friends, on how they can make this happen. Because
put him down. He's the
He's
best cat ever.
He's a handful.
Yes, best cat ever.
And when he and Berlioz get together, so basically you have dinner. It's lovely as usual. You have a lot of fun because there's a lot of talking going on because you really are family, and it's I have a feeling that it's always kind of like a lively affair. So there is chit chat. What did you do during the day? Blah blah blah. And maybe also some shop talk because you did miss, well, she doesn't really say that you missed shifts because she does understand that you also have uni, but kind of like also maybe talking about new acquisitions or things that have come in or guess what? Remember this really ugly vase that I was going to throw out? I sold it.
Who would buy... Okay.
I wasn't mentioning anything. I was just like, okay, great. So basically, I mean, honestly, I don't understand. But hey, I'm not judging.
It has a nice home. Better than the landfill.
That is true. And so the evening progresses. And then at some point, you get a WhatsApp. It's now... okay, so by when do you go to bed?
Late.
Okay.
Midnight?
Okay, 11:45, you get a WhatsApp from Celeste. And you gave her a couple of dates for the dinner, and Ash can make 3 of them.
Okay.
And she says, just take your pick. I've told her that she needs to be at the ready. So she has penciled those evenings in.
I will let you know tomorrow. Ask her when you have time if there's anything she does not like to eat.
Furious typing. It comes back with, she really, really, really does not like hot milk pudding.
Okay.
Other than that, she's fine. And she says she would even eat escargot. But please don't. I don't like them.
Okay. Thumbs up and thumbs down at the same time. Understood. Awesome. Thank you. Also, she would probably get like a speech message from Amelie with a short description on how Nicola behaved when he got the CDs and the note.
You get an
with
emoji,
a giggle.
a flurry of emojis back, smileys, and like those little emojis with a yay and thumbs up. And she says, but how do you think he will react when he sees her?
Freeze would be my assumption.
So you're not gonna tell him that she's coming?
No, he will not show up if he knows she will be there. He will avoid the situation.
Do you want me to warn her? Or should it be a surprise for the two of them?
Please warn her that we have no idea how we will react. The only thing, he will not attack her. He might not look at her, not talk with her for the first few minutes.
Well, I can let you in on a secret. If he does attack her, she will punch him.
He would never.
All right then.
Before she could punch him, Isabel would punch him, I'm quite sure. That is no behavior in her house.
You get a box glove emoji.
And I will send her a granny with box gloves basically zurück. Back. That she will have fun there.
And basically that's, so then she wishes you a good night and then she,
Yeah.
you go to bed. Presumably she does too. And and the next day so let's say it was a Tuesday when this whole thing went down. So you go to uni, you do your shifts.
And I will align with Isabel which date it is. Also with Nico, I will talk to Nico that Celeste would come over for dinner again, and it would
How
be
do you
nice
think
if
he will
would be there
react
as well.
if you say that Celeste is coming over?
I think he liked her generally, so he knows it will be good food because extra special cooking. There will be wine and nice talking, so I'm quite sure he will enjoy that as well. So we all align on a date and send it over to Celeste.
He basically is he taller than you? Yes, he is. Seriously taller. So basically he ruffles your hair as if you were a little girl, and he says, "You've made a friend. You've made a friend."
Nah. Punch him in the arm.
He leaves and he whistles loudly, and he has his hands in his trouser pockets, and then he's kind of like humming, and then he says, "Amelie made a friend, Amelie made a friend," and he picks up one of the cats.
Because I imagine him really I think he would be like 180, 85 at least. So and not chubby but strong build.
Yeah.
And she would shake her head and will go on with the day. I think that the next day is till Friday would be uni, a little bit working.
You get a text message, WhatsApp from Celeste on Friday saying, "I'm going to pick up the car at 2:00.
Should I be there as well?
Or I can come to your place, but I will put, it depends, but we should be there by 7 to have dinner. So I will pick you up.
I will
Or
be
you
there,
can-
then we can store the painting together just to make sure that it's arriving in one piece.
And she says, will you be all right with your luggage?
Yes, I only have a backpack.
Okay, so basically she, then, you make an appointment and you meet at 2 o'clock.
Do I already have my card in the post? I suppose not.
A 4 on the stand die. 9, 13. We need a luck value.
A few days can be anything.
I will say that on a 13 plus 4 on the stand die, it arrived that day.
Okay, so Friday basically shortly before I leave the house, it's like I should look at the mail, and it's
And it says, Chère Mademoiselle Amélie, please find enclosed. Chère Mademoiselle Dubois, of course. Please find enclosed, blah, blah, blah. And it's signed by somebody, and the signature is completely illegible. And then it's like, Alban Decombe, head librarian.
yes. She will close the mailbox again, ignore all the other mail because she's on her way out, and she will stuff it in her backpack, and she will happily do the drive and walk to the library.
You walk to the library, do you kind of text? Where do you go? Do you go inside? Do you wait on the stairs? Did you maybe already say where you're going to meet?
I think we would have decided to meet on the basically outside on the stairs, like a few minutes earlier, like 15 minutes earlier, so we can go inside, get everything, and leave basically at 2 o'clock, more or less sharp.
Okay. So Celeste is there, and she says the car is is downstairs in the parking lot, B2 -2.
Should we get the painting? And she will pull out the car. I can enter now.
Very good. And she takes it and she says, "Do you see that hologram?"
Yes. So the card looks different than the card I had before.
Yeah.
What did they do?
And she pulls out hers. Mine has a hologram as well. These are not the normal cards. These are special cards.
Why does special sound scary here?
You do want to get inside the lift, don't you?
Yes.
There you are. Do you really think that everyone and their grandmother can get into the lift and go downstairs? Where Micheline lives?
That sounds like a very bad idea, that's true.
And then she says,
it works.
let me do something for you. And she takes out a little device. And she says, hold your card against it.
Holding my card against it.
And she's reading out the RFID. And she decodes it. And it actually tells you what it says on the card. I mean, like what has been encoded. It's your name, it's your date of birth, and it's a number. And it's the same number that's also written on it. It's your membership number. So now you know what kind of data they have saved on this card.
That is fine to have there. I'm okay with that. Thank you. Let me see if it works. And I will try to open the door first of all, if it opens for me. And then I will try to get the lift to the level we need to grab the painting.
You go down to the level -5 basement where the painting was stored. The paintings are still there. You take the painting, it has been wrapped for you. And it's also been wrapped in such a way that they have put like two very strong, almost like metal wires around it. And they come together at the top, and there's a little handle so that you could actually hold it like so.
Yeah.
And the front has been cushioned so that, and then it has been put into paper, and basically you cannot really actually get to the painting, and the wires don't touch the painting itself at all. So you take it. It is quite big. I would say it's easily 1 meter wide. So it's not a small painting, but you can carry it easily. because, I was instructed that the frames are not, as I thought, made of metal or wood, but that they are usually made of artificial stuff that isn't so heavy.
Well, I think a picture painting like that would be wood.
Yeah, but it's still carryable.
But it's carryable, yeah.
Okay, so then you go to the car and Celeste drives. Let's see how she does.
Also, I will let Celeste know that on the way I grabbed a nice pack of macarons from a bakery, that I know where the macarons are good, so that we have a little gift to give.
Very good. And on a 12, which is not too good, but also not too bad, it's going okay. You make good time, but of course, speed limits and everything. But the weather is nice, and you arrive. Let's say you left at 2, it's 3.5 hours. So you left at 3, so it's 6:30 by the time you arrive. Again, you pull up in front of the house, and you ring the bell, and then it's ding dong. And a couple of minutes later, Jenkins opens and he says, Mademoiselle Dubois, Mademoiselle Durand, please enter.
Thank you.
You're being expected. Let me take this. And
Be careful. Be careful.
I
Please don't
will.
break it. Thank you, Mr. Jenkins.
And then he says, I will help you with the luggage presently. And he says, I will bring this into the salon. And he takes the painting into the salon. And then he comes out again and he says, is the luggage in the trunk? And Celeste says yes. And then he goes to the trunk of the car and takes out your luggage. Unless you were quicker than him.
It's a backpack. I'm quite sure Amelie has it on her back.
Okay. Yeah, so basically Celeste doesn't. It's really in the trunk, but she's kind of like, she didn't really realize that he was going to do this, so she feels kind of overwhelmed, but he's quicker than her, so he brings in her luggage, which is a suitcase. And he walks in and he says, if you will follow me, I will show you to your rooms, and then dinner is at 7:30.
Thank you.
And he takes you upstairs. So this time you're going into the east wing. Up the stairs, first floor, second floor, and then basically there is a really nice red carpet that's basically a runner along the corridor, and there are paintings on the walls. Some of them are really like those really kind of like dark paintings of some ancestor from like 300 years ago, when they tried to look really stern and that kind of thing. From your perspective, it depends. Would you hang this kind of painting in your room?
No.
But you can do an art history something or other check if you like.
Well, it would be evaluation, wouldn't it? That I know what kind it is. Know that I... Oh God, it's ending. I rolled 5 dice. It might be a little too much.
We picked the 3 highest. Hey!
Well, the dice are picking on me now. That is a horrible roll. I rolled a 1, a 2, and a 3.
It's too dark to really make out much.
Yep.
You would say that they are probably that they are old, but that's all you can tell. Maybe restoring them and lightening them might make a difference because they look really dark. And then he basically says, so these are 2 rooms. They have an adjoining door, and there is also a bathroom each. We thought that this would be suitable.
That's lovely. Thank you.
And he opens the first door. Yes, it's a room. Some people would maybe call it a ballroom. It's really big. It's easily 40 square meters.
Oh God.
It seems like space was never a problem. And it's like, it's like stepping back in time. It's It's got really high windows, but they are narrow. And they have very long curtains, heavy curtains. You know, the ones when you close them, no light will come in. So unless you have a bedside light, you will be plunged in complete darkness.
Yep.
The bed has a canopy. It's one of those really high beds, so basically you really have to climb in. It's been turned down. There's a comforter on it. And it's like those pillows and the blanket. You lie on them and you basically fall into like fluffiness. That's the kind of bed that you're looking at.
This is also a palace. I'm a princess.
Jenkins cannot help himself. He smiles. And Celeste says, well, Princess Amélie. And there's also like a chaise longue, and in front of it is like a small coffee table and one of those, like, you know, chairs with a low back, and like those Louis XV chairs. And then he points.
The whole house would fit in this room.
Celeste looks at you. Well, no. Maybe you're downstairs.
It's giant. There's so much space.
And then there's also a wardrobe. And then he points to a door that is not too far away from the bed, and he says, and that would be your bathroom. Where?
The question is, Celeste, do you want to have this room?
No.
Should we look at both? And
he says, well, we can go straight through here. And he points to another door that's on the opposite wall, and he opens it, and he says, this would be the second room. And it looks almost like the mirror image. Just basically, it's really the mirror image. So basically, the bed is now on the far wall. There's the bathroom there, and the colors are different. So this one is kind of like dark green. The other one is dark blue. So it's just, but it's maybe staying here for a very long time, if you're confined, might make you depressed because the colors are really very dark. But it's you sleep there. You don't usually spend that much time there, probably. There's modern lighting, so there are light switches, and he does turn them on, and he says, well, there is light here, and he turns on the ceiling lights, and he says, and there are also lamps on your nightstands. Okay. There's also towels and everything that you will need in the bathrooms. If there is anything that's missing, please let me know.
Thank you. The moment he leaves us, Amélie will just peek through the middle door between the rooms, like, try the bed. It's like sleeping on clouds.
Celeste falls onto the bed and she says, yes, it is, isn't it?
It's like a 5-star hotel.
Yes. And she
at least like I imagine a 5-star hotel to be.
She looks at the canopy above and she says, it's really like a 5-star hotel. Like living in a castle hotel. Like, I mean, okay, I guess this is a castle. It's not a hotel, but it's a castle.
So if someone asked what we did this weekend, we were princesses for a weekend.
She smiles. Well then.
My lady.
My lady. So she says, okay, do you want blue or green? I really don't mind.
But since I already plunked myself in the blue one, I will keep blue, you green?
Perfect. Then she goes into the bathroom. She says, check out the bathroom.
I am running into my bathroom and looking at it.
So it's also quite big. And it's got a toilet, it's got a sink, but it's also got one of those freestanding bathtubs with a kind of like tiger claw feet or lion claw feet, and it's kind of like white and shaped like so, and but you can tell that this is actually modern. So these fittings are new. And there's also bubble baths and everything beside it. So if you want to have a bath, you can actually put in
over to Celeste, just peeking in the bathroom. Mine is basically the same, I suppose. At least that her bathroom looks. This is Definitely 5-star hotel.
Yeah.
I might take a bath. Not now, but
Me too.
here no cat will attack me when I'm in the tub.
No.
This is like a vacation.
It is, isn't it? So, but what we should do is we should really ask him if he's got any writings from his ancestors, if there are any notes, if there are any papers that maybe are somehow archived, because that's also what we wanted to investigate.
I'm also quite tempted to tell him a little bit about... Well, we can't tell him about his ancestor, because it would show that he lived forever.
But what you could do is maybe you could tell him that you did some research into the painting some more and you learned something about that. It seems to depict one of his ancestors. You could say that you found some obscure description of the painting.
I could also tell him that we followed the line and that the Dulac probably before were family Artois.
But then she looks and she says, "Oh, you don't like lying. I forgot. Do you want me?"
That's not a lie.
Yeah, but
That's
the fact.
the truth.
Yeah, but the fact that you researched. Oh no, I guess you did research the painting.
It's bending a little bit, but it's not lying.
Then she says, "Well, we've got a plan."
We do. So freshen up and then going downstairs. God, English is difficult today. I'm with you.
Yeah. So she basically says, "Okay, I'm gonna unpack," and she starts unpacking, and then she says, "Do you think I'm good to go, or should I change?" She's wearing jeans and a shirt.
Last time we were here, we wore similar clothing.
Yeah, but we weren't invited for a formal 5-course dinner. What if he thinks that I'm some kind of backwoods peasant?
What
I want
else
to
do
make a
you
good second impression.
have with you?
And she takes out the flowery dress that she was wearing when she came to visit you. I've got this.
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Willie looks down. I'm quite sure I think she's wearing probably like a pullover, skirt, and big shabby boots.
Okay, skirts and dresses. Girly. Okay, I should dress more like a woman. So
No,
gonna...
no. If you have pants with you that are maybe not just blue jeans, but something else that would work as well.
Oh, yes, of course. And she takes out different types of... She's got 3 different pairs of trousers, pants.
If you're more comfortable, you can just put on that pair of... She's pointing to a black pair of basically not blue
Actually,
jeans pants.
I would prefer those, but you see, I mean, I mean,
No, that's totally fine. I think the only thing... Blue jeans might be too léger, but that looks quite nice.
So she says, "Okay, so I'm gonna wear those, and yeah, and I think my white blouse is fine."
That's fine.
then she
Amelie, in her mind, is like, "Oh God, we're eating. White blouse is a horrible idea." She will not tell.
And then, yeah, it always happens to me when I put on my white blouse and I eat something, I always get it dirty. So,
Yeah.
She doesn't think of it though. She doesn't even get to the 10. So she basically says,
Although,
"Alright."
honestly, no. Amelie would be like, maybe switching out the shirt to a non-white shirt.
"Oh yeah, just in case there's sauce. If it's coq au vin, it would be red wine sauce. That would stain it forever. You're so clever. Tell me what I should be wearing when I go to dinner with you at your place."
Whatever you like. Maybe not a bikini and flip-flops, but
What?
last time was... You can
I
just
don't
come
have
in
a
jeans and a
bikini.
t-shirt.
Okay.
It's family sitting together, having a nice comfort food. So everyone is comfortable.
Okay.
I will wear blue jeans and a shirt as well.
yeah, it's your home. Then she says, okay, so I'm going to change, and then I'll come by your room and knock on the door, and then we can go down together.
Okay. Amelie will sit at the bed and be like, I have nothing to do.
But
Well,
it only takes her like 10 minutes to change. Then she's
Amelie maybe will put her toothbrush at the sink, more or less, because she packed extremely lightly. I don't think she has much with her. She has a tiny cosmetic bag, then she has some clothing that is like PJs, and then she has what she has, and probably jeans, shirt, and a pullover, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Ready to go?
Hi. Yes.
Then?
You go first, I follow, and then basically you do all of the talking. You're good at this, because it's your métier. We're talking about painting.
You can talk, but yeah. Amelie will go up front, down the stairs, we know the way, and we'll go to the place where we will have dinner. Or should we go to the salon?
You don't know where dinner will be served yet.
So salon would be the way to go.
In the salon, you see a tray with aperitif. And then as you enter, like a cup, you hear steps, and it's Jenkins. He says, you have arrived. Monsieur Dulac will join us in, and he looks at his watch, 10 minutes for aperitif.
Thank you.
Please, be seated. And he walks out
Amelie
again.
will just plonk herself on a chair or couch or...
About 10 minutes later...
What is Sessel in English?
Armchair. We're really having problems tonight,
Yeah,
aren't we?
I have total blanks at the moment for some words.
And basically the door opens and Monsieur Dulac comes in, like really almost 10 minutes later to the minute, and he says, Mademoiselle Dubois, Mademoiselle Durand, I'm so glad you could
jump
make
up
it.
and will hand out that
He shakes your hand, and he shakes Celeste's hand, and then he says, I'm not sure if you drink alcohol, but in case you do, here is some aperitif. And he points to the tray, and he takes a glass for himself. And now I don't know what you drink for aperitif, because I think sherry is something you drink afterwards. Some French aperitif.
It would be maybe sweet wine or
Martini is an aperitif, because sweet wine is usually ice wine, is something you drink afterwards. I think sweet comes at the end. So it's probably martini with the olive.
Or champagne or anything like that might be also an option. Yeah.
So basically there is aperitif, and he offers each of you a glass. And in case you are not into alcohol, there would have been orange juice. So everybody is catered for.
We know we are drinking wine, so we are drinking that as well.
No, Celeste is fine too.
Yeah.
She has no problem drinking alcohol. She did drink some wine when she was at your place. So yeah, she would also have been drinking wine when you went out for lunch or dinner. So so she has something, and then he says, "If you will follow me into the dining room."
Yes, sure.
And he leads you into the dining room, which is vast. There's a very long table, easily seating 20 people. And he says, well, it's a little bit oversized. My ancestors,
Different times.
Different times. Just imagine heating this place. Which is why I always sit back there. And you can see that this is actually it's a very long room. But they've pushed you're pretty sure that in the old days, the table would have been in the middle of the room. Yep. They've pushed it towards the end where there are no windows, so that it's basically close to a place where no draft or anything can come in, and it's kind of like a thick wall, so it would be easier to heat. And you can see that they've got they put in radiators that you can... Yep. With electricity, so it's not the old heating that they might have had, but it's actually something that you can heat easily. And the heating is on because it's still only April, and this room is cold.
Yep.
But I mean, with the heating, it's fine. It's easy and pleasant to sit down, and dinner starts. So basically, there is soup, there is this, there is that. It's a 5-course meal. Let's see what you're getting. If it's over 10, it's venison. If it's 10 or less, it's coq au vin. I rolled a 9, so it's coq au vin for the main course.
That's
but
a
of
good
course,
choice.
there is soup, then there is fish, then there is coq au vin, then there is cheese. And you actually get a little bit of a card where it says what you're going to have. And after the cheese, then there's going to be sweets. So probably crème brûlée or something like that. You know, typical French thing. So, and he is basically now ready to make conversation with you.
Amelie would be like, well, we found out a few things about your ancestors, if it interests you.
Of course. Did you know? Let's hear it.
Well, it looks like at least the painting, the man in the painting is definitely one of your ancestors from around 1600.
All right. So pretty much 1650 the painting appeared, so it makes sense for him to be in it, yeah?
Yeah. And well, we found out that the Dulac family tree goes quite into the past, also having contacts with the Catholic Church, and well, they were wealthy, so they had connections to all different ones. What we found out, the Dulac family basically appeared 1403, and we suspect it is one of the descendants of the Count of Artois, who decided he will change his life and his name and will start new.
Oh, that's interesting. Why would he do that?
Well, the Artois were into the Templar.
Really?
And it seems like they were not going along with the full idea anymore. Also, the Pope got more and more critical about the Templars, so it might be just been a safety thing.
Okay, I rolled, okay, I can't do math. 16 with a 6 on a stunt die. So he at least, I mean, what I didn't realize is that France was actually Templar country. So there were very many Templars there. So he would know what you and I know.
I think in the old rich families, a lot of them had some kind of links to Templars or were Templars themselves.
Yeah, so he knows about the Knights Templar, and he knows that they were involved in the Crusades. And like we all know, they were rich because they were the first bankers, as it were. You could give them money, and then they would give you kind of like a, I owe you, you would take it to the Holy Land, and then they would give you money back. And we all know that the Templars were basically destroyed by the Pope. So he is aware of the basics. And he's like, really? That's... And then he looks at you and he says, well, it would explain my family's wealth.
Yep.
Because, of course, you know, I am still wealthy, but of course, in order to build this, you had to be really wealthy. Maintaining it is difficult, but of course, if I was to even like try and get the land, you see, a lot of our money is not money in the bank. It's this building, and of course, it's the land.
It must be worth a fortune nowadays, but it was a lot worth probably in the past as well. But yeah, that's what we found out at least. And the Artois, you can follow them for quite a while. We stopped at some time because it was not really related to the painting anymore, but it was interesting to see. But yeah, this, as I said, the sir in the painting definitely is one of your ancestors.
I'm really impressed with this knowledge. I mean, I didn't realize. Thank you for finding this out.
We found some notes, at least on that little part.
Well, I mean, how much do you charge for this kind of service? I mean,
Nothing.
You're providing me with come on.
It was adventure for us as well, and you invited us here. It's basically like a vacation. It feels like being a princess in a castle.
He smiles and he says, well, I will think of something. Just a small gesture as a token of my gratitude, because I have to say that this is very interesting. I knew about the Deluxe, but this whole Artois connection is new to me, and I didn't know. And that's certainly something that I will want to investigate further myself, because it is my family's history, after
The
all.
moment he says that, Amelie's like, oh god, he will stumble over this guy is never changing his looks. Awesome. But she will not indulge on that. She will just leave like,
Yep.
It's quite interesting.
Yeah, having said this, you also know that the pictures in the Middle Ages, I mean, everybody looks pretty much the same.
Yeah.
I mean, the only reason
Or
is...
basically it differs a lot between the painter. So if different painters painted it, it
Yeah.
could be... Well, it's logical that there's resemblance in families. So it's not that they should look completely different. So
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's like when you see those early kings and their paintings, you kind of go, it could be anyone. I mean, seriously, it could be anyone. So,
Yeah.
but he's like, all right. So do you want to talk about the papers at all?
which papers?
You know how the old Count d'Artois / Count de Lac told you that he had left papers, his notes, and that they should be somewhere
Yeah.
in the castle?
Yeah, I was like the papers we found from... No, I'm not telling him that we talked to his ancestor. No. What we would be... Well, I was curious, did you already have time to look at the painting? Or should we have a look at it afterwards?
I think we should have a look after dinner, if you are fine.
Yes, because I would really be interested what you say. And I would be curious, do you have any kind of notes still left from your ancestors? Because it's still, well, kind of intriguing, the beginning of the family du Lac, and also the painting fitting quite well into the first centuries as well. Do you have from any time, either the painting time, because the one thing we still don't know, who is the painter?
Well, I think this is now the time for me to come clean about something. We were robbed. My family was robbed.
That's horrible.
In 1928, a man came to this house and he said he was an archaeologist and a historian, and he felt that we had papers of historical importance and asked if he could visit the library and look at our archives. And of course my grandfather was fine with that.
Do you by any chance know the name of this archaeologist?
Of course I do, because he's kind of like the boogeyman of my family. His name was François Junot. He walked out with papers, as we found out soon after. And my grandfather tried to track him down. But he denied all knowledge. And of course my grandfather couldn't prove anything. And my grandfather was, as my son once put it, a soft soul. He just let it go. Having said this, I would probably have done the same thing, because what can you do? We had no proof. And you can't just go around accusing people. Because you, best case, warn people against somebody who is evil. Worst case, you destroy a perfectly good reputation. So my grandfather just let it go. Why? It's strange that you should ask.
Well, there are a lot of famous archaeologists, so I was curious if there's one out of the multiple known ones.
Well, I mean, we do have an archive and I can give you access to it. I trust that you will not rob me blind.
We will for sure not. If we can leave anything for security, if it helps for you.
You see, the thing is, we don't know what kind of papers he took. We just know that he took some. Nobody had read anything in that archive for a long time. But my grandfather, when he locked up, found that 2 folders were empty. And he knows that they weren't before. He was absolutely positive. And I do not believe that he was batty in his old age and making up things. I do believe that this really happened.
You hear that some ecologists go extreme ways for their research, which I do not approve.
Well, maybe we should finish our sherry and then we can take a look at the paintings. At the painting, I should say, and then I will show you to the library and I will show you the archives. Because I will be leaving at about 9 o'clock tomorrow, so if you're an early bird, we can have breakfast together at 8. But of course, you're also welcome to. All right, then I'll see you in the morning as well. But now let's, and he basically pours sherry or ice wine or whatever you want, and then basically you have like your sweet dessert with the wine. The kind of like the digestif, as it were. And then he says, well, ladies.
Then we'll go over to the salon and Amelie will unpack the painting.
He takes a really long look at it and he says, it does look a lot nicer now, doesn't it?
Yes. So, well, everything that feels wrong about the painting is kind of still there. The perspective and so on is still special. Unique, one might say. But it's much more pleasant now to look at. Also, your ancestor, looks much happier and relaxed.
He does, doesn't he? Well then, shall we take it upstairs to the library and hang it, and then I can show you around?
Yes, sure. Amelie will just take it.
He looks at you and then he decides against saying, let me. And he just says, I will hold the door for you. And he basically holds the door. You go up the back stairs again. Then you pop out straight in the library. And you know where the painting used to hang.
Yeah.
So you go there, you feel nothing. You hang it again. You hang it on the wall. Take a step back, adjust it a little, it hangs perfectly. And then he says, well, now let me show you the archive. And he basically steps to, and I mean, this is, you think that this is kind of like in a bad movie. He goes to one of the shelves, pulls out one of the books. The shelf swings open. And he says, I know what you're thinking. I couldn't help myself. This used to be a nook. And I just felt I wanted this.
It fits perfectly for this place.
And then because the old count said that he had a writing nook. And it's a very spacious nook. But then again, everything's big in this place. It's more like a walk-in closet, but not too big either. So it would fit, if you went to the very far end, you could fit in maybe a small desk, chair in front of it. And then there are shelves on both sides. So it's really wide enough for maybe 2 people standing next to each other, but it's going to be cozy. And then he says, well, this is our archive. And you see that it's about 3 meters tall. And it's, 2 meters tall. And it's just shelves. And it's 3 meters in. So both sides are shelved. And you can see that there's just basically binders. There is lever arch files. So some of the stuff is obviously modern. So somebody has actually punched it and put it in, but then there's also kind of like large leather ledgers that have been put in where you can see that there's paper. And he says, well, as you can see on the shelves, there are dates. So this is basically 2000 to today. Then we have it goes back in 30-year intervals. And it goes back to pretty much, the 14th century, the 15th century when this house was built.
Yeah, when the house was built. That's a lot of history in here.
Yeah, and I would say, at least I have never really looked at it because, I don't speak Middle French. But feel free to make copies if you like. We've got a copier, a photocopier.
We will at least have a little peek in here. Just for honoring, pointing over to the painting, him a little bit.
Well, please feel free. I did point out about the West Wing. You can enter it. It's not a problem. The doors are open, but, it's going to be a little bit loud during the day because of the dehumidifiers.
We will not snoop around where we shouldn't be. No worries.
Celeste looks at you and she says, of course not. You realize that this was a lie.
Amelie honestly meant what she said.
Yeah, Celeste didn't. And then basically it's
just
okay.
To be curious why we are still standing then together with him. And any, this is like a very old chateau. And any special, like, spooky ghost stories?
Oh, you mean is the place haunted? Of course it is. We've got the White Lady, we've got the Weeping Willow, we've got the clamoring ghost. We've got them all.
So it's not getting boring. She will look over at Celeste.
Of course not. And always ensure that when you are going out at night and it's dark, you watch out for the moving lights. And he smiles at you.
Okay, not to follow them because they will bring you somewhere where you will not return.
Well, actually, they will take you to the kitchen.
Okay.
I have a feeling that we have hungry ghosts. I did follow the lights once and they did lead me to the kitchen.
Well,
nothing interesting happened in the kitchen, but I decided when I was there I could have a snack. So I had a midnight snack and went back to bed.
It definitely sounds like they have a good taste.
To be quite honest, yes, there are stories. And of course, people died in this building. It's old enough. I have heard things at night that I couldn't explain, but then again, it's an old house as well. Maybe it was the heating. But I can also tell you that, to my knowledge, if there are ghosts, they've never tried to kill anyone.
Okay. I'm just curious about ghost stories.
Make a communication check.
No.
Only two, only three?
Yeah. I was like, and I need not put three that look exactly the same. That will be tricky to find a stunt die. That is a horrible roll. That is a 9.
Okay. You can still see that Celeste is kind of disappointed.
That there is no real ghost. Well, but at least that means we should have a restful night's sleep.
Yes, that is true. And then he looks at his watch and it's now almost 11. He says, well, having said this, I do have a long day tomorrow. If you will excuse me, please feel free to stay in the salon or in the dining room, or of course spend as much time as you like in this part of the house. Like I said, I wouldn't recommend going to the West Wing at night because it's cold. But if you so choose, please, feel free.
Then we will meet tomorrow for breakfast.
In the dining room, indeed. And he wishes you both a good night.
Good
and
night.
He leaves. Oh, and by the way, if there is anything the matter, please ring the bell. Jenkins will then attend to you.
Thank you.
And then he leaves. And Celeste says to you, tonight I'm going to set up my ESP readers and everything because I don't believe a single word that he said. I'm pretty sure there's haunting going on here. There has to be.
Do we maybe want to try that tomorrow night?
What, do you think they only haunt at the weekends?
No, but then he will not stumble over it.
That's a smart idea.
Because I'm actually quite tired from the trip.
All right.
I would be still curious to have at least a look at documentation from the beginning.
Well, you can. There's also a ladder. So the older the stuff, the further up it is, because obviously people will probably not look at the old stuff. They're more interested in the taxes of the last 3 years or so. So you can climb up, or you can ask Celeste to climb up.
No, I would climb up and I would pull out basically the first file that is there. And bring
Okay,
it
so
down.
the first file that you find is you can now make intelligence evaluation check, actually.
Okay. Different. Oh, that's at least not a total disaster. That is no stunt die, but that is a 14.
Okay. Well, you have seen similar documents when Micheline was telling you what she had looked at and she was explaining it to you. The first are actually deeds. You know, remember how she said this would be of interest to you if you're interested in real estate from the 14th century? These are deeds. So basically, you can make out the name Count du Lac, so you know. Well, I mean that would still be the same in French, in Middle French. It probably means that this is the deeds to the castle. So basically, he bought the land, and this has been stamped. And basically, there is also a big wax seal, which simply proves that he bought it. And there's also a figure in it, so you can read this because it's Arabic numerals. Or would they have used Latin numerals? But you could read those as well, so it doesn't matter. And it basically is the sum of 5,000 gold ducats. And he bought this land for 5,000 gold ducats.
That she would register, but she would put back and she would pull out the next one.
Okay, so the next ones are also not so much deeds, but again, it looks like more like accounting. So maybe, you know, paying people to bring the stones, to build the house, blah, 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 or the castle, I should say. So the first couple of, so if you keep looking, the first couple of ledgers really are ledgers. They are accounting ledgers. So basically,
I think
that's that.
Yeah, no, I was like, would she like make a double check if it's his signature and it stays the same, even though we know he's still the same, so it doesn't matter. So no, she would just try and see if we can find by accident.
But what you do notice is that there are different people signing. So he has a steward.
Yeah, he will have
Who
people
has been,
working for him.
Yeah. And it's even mundane things like there was a wedding. So basically he had to invite people. So he had to get food in. You know, this is really like a proper archive for that kind of thing. If you keep looking, do you keep looking?
I think she would stop for this evening. Just looking at the time, we need to be up early. And then we have all day. So if Celeste has nothing, at least Amelie would be like, I think tomorrow we will have more peace and quiet after some breakfast.
Okay.
Then we can have an afternoon nap, and in the evening we can go ghost hunting.
And don't forget that we wanted to take a bath. And basically you return to your rooms, and you go to bed. Celeste says good night. She goes to bed. You lean back. It's soft. It's warm. It is actually warm. You notice that they have put in radiators, or the electric radiators have been running so that it's warm. Yeah, and do you close your eyes and go to sleep?
Yes.
Okay, so you notice one thing. So first of all, do you draw the curtains?
I think Amelie would not completely. A little bit, but not completely.
You basically look into the darkness, and basically your look sweeps the room. There is some light coming in from outside because there is a little bit of a moon. But what you also notice is that underneath the connecting door, light streams in. So whatever Celeste is doing, she's doing it by light. So she has her lights on. So maybe she's reading, or she's doing something else, or she's sleeping with the lights on, but there is still some light coming in.
I will not even question that. I will just turn around away from the door and just snuggle in, close my eyes, and hopefully fall asleep.
Yes, you do. On a 7, your constitution lets you go to sleep almost immediately because you are tired. It's been a long day. And even if you weren't driving yourself, it was 3.5 hours in a car.
Yeah.
You know, it just, and, you know, change of air and everything. So you just go to sleep. And we shall leave it here because I think this is a perfect break.
It is a good break. Also, just to mention, Amelie would have set her phone to an alarm that she would get up in time, obviously.
Yeah. Okay, absolutely. So because you would still have to kind of like get ready for, I don't know, maybe get up at 7 to be ready for 8 to have
Exactly.
to have breakfast with the gentleman of the house.
Yeah, I think for Amelie it would be probably like 7:30. I think she's quite quick early in the morning.
And you just basically set your alarm. And with that, we would like to thank you for listening and supporting us all this time. You know, we hope you're enjoying this, and I would like to thank you for telling the story with me. I hope you're enjoying yourself as well.
Telling the story as well, although today I'm really mushy in the head as I feel, but it's really fun. It's always fun with the two. And I'm curious to see A, if we find ghosts, B, if we find anything else that dear Mr. Ecologist forgot or oversaw. And then I'm looking forward to a special dinner.
Absolutely. And then we shall see how this unfolds the next time. And of course, we will play out the dinner with Ash and her fanboy.
That's me. Then
Talk to you soon.
To the next
Bye.
time. Bye.
Bye-bye.